Hey, what's up guys? Valley Flying here. I am back and today we are looking at the top 10 brawlers. Now just did the blasters list and we had a huge update come out yesterday and I did this video, I recorded it, I was in the midst of editing it when I saw the update notes that Black Panther got a rework, so I had to redo this whole list. So this is a post-update list that I made. So let's go into these brawlers right here. Now, if you look, we have only 12 brawlers, so there's two that's not going to be on the list. One I'm not even rating, and that is Ultimus, just because he's not really a character that most people could get unless you're dropping thousands and thousands of dollars on the game. And even then, I don't see him. I haven't seen him in Arena, and I haven't played with him except on that Thanos challenge, and then I've played against him on the campaign missions. So don't have a lot of info, and I'm just not going to rate him. So that leaves us 11 characters left. Who didn't make the list? Well, if you've watched my previous videos, you know how I feel about the AIM characters. They have some weird kits. So this guy, despite how cool he looks, he has a really cool character model. He did not make the list. Why? Well, he does have the highest damage, the base damage out of all of these guys, but he is a little slow, and his kit is weird. He has an attack here, which is fine. He has a buff and a debuff, so he's giving himself offense up, he's giving himself defense down. Not a fan of the buff debuff thing, and then he gets a chance to heal, so just a weird kit. So he's not on the list. So top 10. What is this top 10 list based on? Well, it's based off their base stats, based on the level 10 gear, because that is around where the max is. I think the max is 11, but I'd use gear 10 just to keep it a nice round number. What else is this based on? Gameplay. So this is based on my experience playing with these characters. This is my experience playing against these characters. And I've also talked to people in my alliance, people that are stronger than me. These guys have been playing a lot longer than me in beta. Some of them have been playing since launch, and I've been talking to them. I only have about 30 days of the beta, so my roster is stronger than the global launch players, but it's not as strong as some of the other beta players. So I've talked to these guys because they have a lot more experience than I do, and I've come up with this list based on a few things where the characters are now. Now, you could go ahead and look at what the next level of their kit will be, and I think this list will change based on when they up the levels, but this is where they are now, in my opinion. And I gotta tell you, this was a hard class to rate because there's no garbage characters. I mean, even AIM Monstrosity does have some value if you are using an AIM team. He's probably necessary in an AIM team. And I don't know if he's too valuable outside of that, but he's not a garbage character because he does have some high damage. Now, who did I pick? Let's move on to the list. This was a tough one to rate. I mean, you could make an argument that a lot of these characters could be moved up and down, and it would be a solid argument. But I have to lock them in, I have to choose. So, coming in, number 10, Iron Fist. Yes, this is the character with the Netflix series. He has pretty good health for a brawler. He has pretty good damage for a brawler. He has pretty good speed for a brawler. Why did I rate him so low? Well, let's go in. Let's look at his kit. This is on msf.gg. So, this move right here. Big damage. 540% damage. And he has some good base damage. So, he's going to allow damage. But 60% chance to gain offensive down. Why? What is this for? Why is this in there? This kit needs a lot of work. What else? He has a 15% chance to heal himself and defenders' allies. I think he really needs a rework because that's so low, and that really hurts all of the defenders. To put together a defenders team, you only get a 15% chance to heal. Not super strong. I think that number needs to be bumped up a little, maybe to 25 or 35%. And he'll be a solid character. He has a self-heal, so he can heal himself, but not the rest of his team. And he has a pretty good basic attack, does some good damage. He can chain to 3 targets. But just his kit needs a rework. I think he could be a really strong character if they just changed a few stats on him. But as he is right now, I cannot rate him too high because his big move, he also has a debuff. I don't like these characters that give debuffs to themselves and make themselves weaker. So that is why he is rated where he is. Let's go back to the list. Who is next? These are the rest of the characters. And number 9, we have Blademaster. Here he is. Probably one of the good hand characters. There's a lot of characters that are tied for the lowest health in this brawler category, and he's one of them. So his health is not super strong. He has some good damage, and he is pretty fast. Let's go take a look at his kit. Let me close out Iron Fist right here. Blademasters. Now, if we look at his kit, he's got a big damage basic attack. He has a big damage only attack, only other special attack, because that's what the minions do. And he has a 40% bonus, 40% chance to gain a bonus attack for some good damage as well. And his passive gives him damage. He's just a damage machine. But it's kind of a boring kit, and that's why I rated him low. He's got some damage, but that's about all he does. He doesn't do any help for the team. He doesn't do any buffs or debuffs. He's just a solid damage character, and he's by no means a bad character. Same with Iron Fist. Iron Fist isn't bad. Iron Fist does need some help with the rework, but Blademaster is a solid character. I rated him at number 9 because I think these other characters are a little better. So let's get back into the list. Who do we have left? Well, coming in at number 8, sorry, we have Nebula. Yes, Nebula. Now, she is a pretty fast character. She has a good kit. She has some high health, high damage. Let's go take a look at her kit because she is a pretty solid character. I know there's a lot of people that don't like her, but if you look at her and what she does, she's very similar to some other characters that get some love that I'll be talking about a little later. So Nebula, she does some good damage. She could chain damage, and she gets evade. She has a chance to revive on death. She has a good, solid second skill that can gain counter. And then she could do speed up. 90% chance at level 6, 100% chance at level 7, and you need level 65 for that, so that's not possible yet. But she has a chance for speed up on her basics, so she's a fast character that can get even faster. She has some solid damage. Good, decent kit. I wouldn't say it's an excellent kit, but it's a decent kit. So Nebula's a solid character, solid spot for number 8. Let's go back to the list, see who we got here. Number 7. This character actually had a lot lower, but some people convinced me that are more experienced than I do to have him a little higher, but personally, I'm not a big fan of his. Number 7 is Spider-Man. Now, if you look at his numbers, his health is low, and I think that is appropriate for this character. His damage is pretty high, and he's fast. So what is wrong with him? Why don't I like him? Let's go look at his kit. Let's close out Nebula right here. Spider-Man. His kit is actually pretty solid. You know, he has a chance to stun. He attacks the primary target for pretty decent damage. So he's pretty good. He can dodge. He has a second skill that has a chain damage. You know, his kit is not bad. Why don't I like him? Well, every time I face him, he just doesn't pose a threat to my team. When I was using him, and I may be biased because when I was, he's one of the characters that you get in the beginning, and when I was using him, he wasn't really strong for me. So, and I like him as a character in the comics. I like him as a character in the movies. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Spider-Man. I bumped him up a little bit, but you know, yeah, I mean, he's good, but I don't know, he just doesn't hit as hard as these stats indicate that he should. Maybe it's because people don't have him built up. Maybe because the teams that I'm facing don't have him built up. Maybe I mean, theory crafting, he's pretty good. Maybe when he's built up, he'll be a strong character. But there are a lot of strong characters in this Brawler class. Let's go back to the list. We've got some strong characters here. Who did I rate above him? This one might be a little controversial. Coming at number 6, Kree Reaper. Some of you might be thinking, what? Kree Reaper? Well, she is slow. She doesn't have huge damage. She's actually tied for the lowest damage in the class. But she has the most health. The second most health if you don't count Ultimus in the whole class. And let's go take a look at her kit. Why did I rate her high? Well, let's close out Spider-Man. Well, her basic, she has a 70% chance to give ability energy to the rest of her allies. I think that is huge on her basic. She is a minion, so she doesn't have a lot of skills. She has only 1 skill, but this is a huge attack. You know, not as huge as some others because her base damage is pretty low. She has a 50% chance to apply heal block, and if you guys watch my previous videos, you know that is the skill that I hate the most to face against. Ooh. And yeah, crit. She could heal herself. You know, so she's upping her crit chance. She has a 10% added crit chance with her passive. So solid kit, especially for a minion. For a minion, I think this is a good kit. You have a lot of other things that she's doing. She's not just a straight damage like the Blademaster. I think she is solid. She does need to be in a Kree team. And Krees aren't super strong right now. They probably will be when Ultimus is, when more people start getting Ultimus. But solid character. Like I said, all of these characters are pretty solid. Let's go back to the list and move up. We're going up to number 5. We got this guy, Daredevil. Now, most people already have him at 3 stars because if you link your account, you automatically get him. So most people already have him. Low health, lowest health in all the Brawler class. It's a tie, but he does have the lowest health. He has some solid damage. He's pretty fast. One of the faster characters in the game. And let's take a look at his kit. His kit is pretty decent. Daredevil. He does a lot. He does a lot of chain damage. So he has a solid damage attack right here. He can chain and hit 4 additional targets at level 6. 250 with that. He helps out his defenders, gives them a little more speed, so their turn meter's filling up a little faster. And all of his attacks do some pretty good damage. He gains counter on his second skill here. More chain damage on this skill as well. And then he's got a bonus attack. 40% chance of that. And he does extra damage to the hand. Not a huge added bonus, but it's nice. I mean, I don't see a lot of hand teams out there in Arena yet. But yeah, I mean, he's a solid character. Nothing against Daredevil. You know, he is rated. This is a solid class, though. So even solid characters aren't going to be up in that number 1 spot. But Daredevil, pretty good character. Good single target damage dealer. And then he's got these chains, so he could deal to multiple targets as well. So Daredevil is a good character. Let's go back to the list, see who else we got. We only have 4 more. Who made the number 4 spot? Well, I gave that to ELEKTRA. Yeah, ELEKTRA. She has the most health. No, she has the most damage out of everybody on this list. Now, A Monstrosity does have more damage than her, and she is tied with Ultimus. But on this list, she has the most damage. She does have low health. She's pretty fast. Let's take a look at her kit. ELEKTRA's kit right here. Now, this is why I rated her high. She gains stealth. So that means even though she has low damage, unless you're doing an AoE attack, you're attacking an adjacent target, you're not going to be able to hit her. Most of the time, the AI uses this skill right off the bat, and then you can't touch ELEKTRA. So that makes her dangerous. This third attack is huge. This does big damage. I love the animation on it where she just kills the guy and goes face down on the ground. She also has a chance to revive on death. 20% max health. She has a random hand ally, will get evade. And then she starts to bleed. Not huge as far as what I've seen and what I've heard from other people. But she's a solid character. Good damage. And then, but this stealth makes her hard to hit. You know, you're getting this right off the bat. This only has a 3-turn cooldown, so you're getting it every 3 turns after that. And then this one is just a huge, huge damage. I like ELEKTRA. That skill is a big damage dealer. So solid, solid character. These are all solid characters, like I said. So we got 3 left. Who's rated number 3? This is where the list switched up a little. I had Black Panther here, but I'm going to put Wolverine at number 3. Yes, Black Panther overtook him because of the update. Now, he is a good character. Has the highest health out of all these rated characters. Ultimus does have him, but has a little more health, but I'm not rating Ultimus. Good damage. He has a good damage, and his speed is pretty slow. Not as slow as Kree, Reaper, or Monstrosity, or Ultimus, but he's pretty slow. Second highest out of all the people on this top 10 list. Let's take a look at his kit, because this is where he really shines. Alright, Wolverine. He does piercing on all of his attacks. He attacks the primary target for 230% damage. His base damage is already pretty high, so that's a big damage dealing. Attack primary target for 120% piercing. So it's a low attack, but he does have piercing on it. He has a bleed. He has a crit, and he can chain 3 to 4 targets. So he's attacking multiple targets. And then you got his big one right here. This is a huge attack. He has a solid base, and then you're going 600%, 610% on top of that. That's a kill, kill, kill. He's going to bleed, and then he's going to gain offense up if he has less health than 50%. And this is unavoidable. So that dodge that Spider-Man gets and some other characters get doesn't matter when Wolverine's attacking with this skill. And then he's regenerating health. So this is probably this object percent is probably a bug, but yeah, he's a solid health. Let's go back into his kit, see what it says here. Yeah, so at level 3, I don't have him at level 4 yet. I haven't really worked too much on Wolverine, but he's a good character. He regenerates at level 3. 15% of this character's max health, 5% chance to revive with his max health, with 50% of this max health. So he's healing. And I think this is a pretty good kit representing how he is in the comics and how he should be in the movies. You know, just doing a lot of damage, really tanky, a lot of health and regenerating. Solid character. So I already revealed who my number 2 was, but let's go back to the list. Number 2, I don't have him unlocked yet, but it is the Black Panther. He just had a rework. Now, this is not reflective yet in MSF.GG, so let's look at it here on his passive. On dropping below 50% of max health, gain charged. So what is charged? Well, this is not reflected yet either, so the stats on MSF.GG are currently, at the time of recording this video, aren't updated. So if charge attack, he's gonna, on his 3rd skill, he's gonna, instead of attacking one enemy, it turns into an AoE attack. So what this starts at, it has a big cooldown. It costs 6 energy. You get this right off the bat with him. But if you drop below health and you are in a battle that's long enough that he's going to do this again, this attack turns from an AoE attack, from a single target to an AoE attack. So dealing some big damage. Let's go and look at his kit, because I'm pretty sure the rest of his kit hadn't changed. His 2nd skill, he's doing some good damage. He has a solid base damage and solid speed. His health is tied for the lowest in the class, but his damage is high, and his speed is the 3rd highest character in the game, 2nd highest in the class. So he's a really fast character. He gains counter when he crits. He gets offense up for 2 turns. So solid kit right here. And then his basic is dealing good damage, has some piercing. He has a 90% chance to apply slow at level 6. But why did I rate him where he's at? Well, when he kills somebody, his speed bar gets filled up 80% at level 4. That's all it could go right now. But when they raise the level cap up to level 64, every time he kills somebody, he's going again. His speed bar is 100%. Once they raise that level cap, he's definitely going to go up to that number 1 spot unless anybody else gets reworked or unless somebody else gets added to the class. Black Panther is really solid. And right now, at the time of recording this, he is the Blitz reward character. Unfortunately, it's only for the top 500. But he's not a farmable character because Blitz is not a reliable way to get these shards. Yeah, I wish I had him. I wish I had him unlocked. He's a solid character. I know some people had him as a opening day that you get 100 shards of him for $10 or something like that. The cost might be a little different, but yeah. Yeah, if that ever pops up again for me, I'm definitely taking that. I didn't see that when I launched, and I couldn't make purchases when I was in the beta because I have a US account. Anyway, let's move on. Number 1, and I think most people at the time of this recording, with the level cap being 60, I think she is the number 1 character, and that is Gamora. Yes, she has a solid kit, and that's why I rated her high. Her damage is the lowest in the class, but she is the second fastest character in the game. She's actually the fastest farmable character in the game because Black Widow's faster than her, but Black Widow's not farmable. So she's pretty fast. She has some decent health, although you wouldn't know it because she dies pretty quick. You know, but based on the rest of the brawlers, she has some decent health. Let's go into her kit, because this is what really makes her a solid character. This thing right here, 3rd skill, fill speed bar 100% when she kills. Same thing on the 2nd skill. I've talked about this. You could go 3 times in a row, and if you time everything right and set it up right, you could have 3 kills in a row. Take out 3 of the enemies right there, and she's a devastating attacker. She only has a 3-turn cooldown. You start with this second move on a 3-turn cooldown with her. And she's got some chain damage. Yeah, but this fill speed bar just 100%. That's what makes her. I think Black Panther will pass her once they get raise the level cap. But as she stands right now, she's the top one. She has 40% to do a bonus attack 2 times, and that's going to be at 200% damage. You know, she does some huge damage, even though her base is not low. Right now, it's only 1912 at gear 10. If we raise this up a little bit, you know, it goes up a little bit, but she still does not have huge damage compared to the rest of the class. But she is the top character right now. She's not a perfect character. She's not overpowered by any means, but she's very solid. Her passive, she gains more crit. She could give more crit to her Guardians of the Galaxy allies, and then she gives a little more crit to the rest of her allies. So she has a good passive, and it helps other teammates, not just her. So that's why I rated her at the number 1. I really don't think you could argue with the number 1, but I think the rest of the list can be disputed, and I think that is the good thing about doing these lists, because it does spark some debate. 2 to 10 literally can be argued that you could switch around some of these spots. So let me know what you think of this list below. I know there's going to be some argument because, you know, all of these characters are pretty solid. So let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what you think of some of these lists. Let me know where you would rate some of these characters, because I did have a hard time rating these guys, even with a lot of input and looking at all their stats to have some raw numbers in front of me. If you like this video, please check that like button and subscribe to the channel, because got a lot more things planned. We got content coming out so fast that probably releasing a lot more videos than normal, just because Thanos is here, and I really like that guy. I want to unlock him as soon as possible because he's a strong character. And more updates. We got more updates next week. We know that Doctor Strange is coming. We know Vision is coming. We know Star-Lord's coming. And yeah, so Infinity Wars is upon us. So I will see you next time. Valley Flying out.